Hey everyone, I'm super excited to be here with you tonight. I know it's been a few weeks since I have come and done a Facebook Live and talked to you all. Clearly, I think you know why. Our world was absolutely turned upside down. And we're all just trying to get used to, I'm not going to call it the new normal because it's not, it will pass, but our current normal. I guess our current situation. We're all adapting and changing and being flexible. And, you know, I had to take a few weeks off to kind of figure things out, but I'm going to get back at it starting today. So, super excited to be here with you all. I've missed seeing you all and seeing all your comments on the videos and just talking and chatting with you all about everything that is to do with comprehension. So tonight is no different, but we do have a special twist and something that I hope will be helpful to you as you are journeying through this whole distant learning. So as an introduction, of course, my name is Ciera Harris. I am the author over at Ciera Harris Teaching. And if you are joining me tonight, I would absolutely love it if you would drop your name, your grade that you teach, and then tell me something that you've enjoyed so far about distant learning or e-learning. I know that we are all on very separate journeys with this, so hopefully the information that I give you tonight will be adaptable and helpful with the many different scenarios that we have going on. Whether you are completely free reign and you can kind of tell your kids to do whatever they want, or you have very specific schedules and things that your district has kind of outlined that you have to follow. The information that I've got for you tonight, again, hopefully will be adaptable to any and all situations. So tonight we're going to really focus in on how to teach comprehension during distant learning. So how do we keep our students not only reading, but understanding what we're reading when we can't be with them, okay? So I know that many teachers have done digital hangouts of some sort, whether it be through Zoom or through Google Hangouts or whatever platform you're using. You're connecting with your students kind of face-to-face or virtually in some way. And so the ideas that we're going to talk about here in just a second, those are going to be able to be used during those sessions to be able to support your students with comprehension, all right? But before we get into it and before I walk you through your amazing freebie that I've got for you tonight, you're going to want to stay tuned for this. It's gold, I promise. I just want to kind of walk you through some I don't know, some steps before we get there. Some things that I want to make sure I take the time to talk about to kind of like help lay out the situation for all of us. And I know you've all done this part. I know you're all wonderful teachers. But I would feel kind of, icky if I didn't say this. But please, please, please make sure that when you are starting your e-learning journey every day, so every day is a fresh start. Every day you're starting your day events, your day meetings, or whatever you're doing, you take time to check in with your students. Your students are so flexible, probably sometimes more than we are, right? They're so resilient, but this is so foreign to them. Like, we're able to process it, I think, more mentally, right? And they're just able to kind of go more with the flow than things. So we kind of deal with it in different ways. But when you start your meetings, when you start your Zoom, before you jump into your lesson of that day or of that time frame or whatever it is, before you start, do something to check in with your students. Create some fun hand signals where you can say, this hand signal is going to mean that, I'm doing great. This hand signal is going to mean that I'm doing, I'm okay. And this hand signal is going to mean, I'm not doing too well. Can maybe you can reach out and talk to me a little bit one-on-one. And if you do just a very quick, 3-second shake your hand during the hand signal and you just scan the room and then you tell them to stop, your eyes are going to be a lot quicker to find the students who are giving you that third option of that hand signal to know who to reach out to. And maybe in those 3 seconds that student will be brave enough, or those students will be brave enough to show you that hand signal and to reach out to you in hopes that you will then reach out one-on-one with them. I think, that's something we do in morning meeting, when students walk into our room. And I think now more than ever, our students need that moment where they can say to you, I need you. I need you. So please, please, please make sure that you're taking time to let students check in with you. Obviously, we all know that reading is a top priority, right? We want to get our students reading, reading, reading as much as possible because at the end all be all, if they're reading, they're going to improve. They're going to increase fluency, they're going to increase vocabulary, their decoding skills will, increase as well. All of it will just get better the more that they read. So let them read whatever they want. Um, I hate doing all of this right now because I'm not in your shoes. I don't have a classroom that I'm taking care of right now. So I can't, say for 100% the advice that I'm telling you, is 100% going to work. I'm just telling you what I would do if I were in your shoes. So for me, it's not about assigning any reading. It's not about giving them, a virtual reading passage. Now, I would be giving them some assignments, yes. But as far as like we're all kind of reading the same thing and then on Zoom we talk about it, that's not the path that I would go down. I would be letting them read whatever they want with the expectation of when we meet as a class, you're going to bring the book that you are currently reading or just recently read. Um, Especially if you're, lower grades, when they're getting through picture books, they should hopefully be reading one or two of those a day. Make them bring the picture book that they read earlier that day or yesterday or whatever it may be. If they're a little bit older and they're reading chapter books, bring the current chapter book that they're reading. The expectation should be that they come to the meeting with a book that they have read or are reading. Let them read what they want. Encourage that. Have them keep track of what they have read in unique ways. I know a lot of teachers are being asked to take attendance, and so a really fun way to get some attendance or to take attendance is to post a very open-ended comprehension question that can be answered with any book in one or two sentences, and just kind of let your students answer the question, whether they have to type it in whatever platform or they answer it virtually. Whatever way you're taking attendance, that could be an easy way to do that. They could also start some kind of response to text journal. You could assign some reading logs. I know there's some really unique reading logs out there that are just more than, write the title and the author. Obviously, we want to go a little bit more in depth than that. But have them keep track of what they're reading and let them read. Encourage, encourage, encourage. More reading, the better, okay? When you actually get into your meetings that you're doing with your students, your distant learning teaching time, right? You want to take this opportunity to model for your students. And you really only have, honestly, like 2, maybe 3 minutes of their attention before they're going to start withering away, right? It's a little harder when they're all sitting in their own houses and they have lots more distractions than they do sitting on your carpet for a mini lesson. So the time that you have to really teach them is a lot shorter. So what I would do is I would make sure that I have a very strong mentor text that then I would break that up over the course of a few days. I would only read maybe 3 to 4 pages at a time, and then I would have a very obvious thinking point. One obvious thinking point that I would model through and share with them. Then the next meeting, we'd read the next few pages. And I know that's kind of weird and odd for a picture book. However, I know that I can't read an entire picture book. I've seen my own kids. They're not paying attention. And they love to read. It's just not no they're not used to it, right? So shorten up the time span that you're reading out loud to them and throw in an opportunity to model out loud. Because when that 2 to 3 minutes or 3 to 4 minutes that they are paying attention, they're don't just focus on the book. Don't just read the book. Take that opportunity to model your thinking, at least one strong thinking point, whether it be you're modeling an inference that you made or you're modeling the difference between an important event and, an interesting event. Whatever it may be, take the opportunity to model your thinking, okay? Another quick tip is to make sure you're planning, that you're doing whatever your lesson plans look like. It's just funny to say the word lesson plans because, come on, I mean, this is just so crazy. But your lesson plans that you are using, make sure to try to make them interactive. And that's where our freebie is going to come in tonight. That's what this is going to be about. And I'm going to get to that in just a second. But make it interactive, make it fun. Start with non-academics first. So do things like go on scavenger hunts throughout your house, or play the game like I Have, Who Has, or Never Have I Ever, or Truth, True, Said a Lie. Like start with things like that to make it interactive. That way they know like this time with my teacher is going to be fun, right? The worst thing that we could do is jump right into our first Zoom or two and it be all academics, because they're going to then equate the computer time or that screen time with something that maybe they don't want to do. And we really want to make this a positive experience for them from the get-go. So play some non-academic games with them and then transition into academics. And when you're transitioning into academics, you want that to be interactive as well. And again, it's hard and it's weird, and that's where the beef of our topic is going to come from tonight. So we're going to focus on the basics. So if I were you, again, focusing on a class of 25 students who I want to read, and I want to make sure that they are continuing their education, I'm going to make sure that I'm focusing completely on foundational skills. When I think about reading comprehension, what are those foundational skills and what really do I want to focus on? So, dun dun dun, what I have made for you tonight is a grid of 16 different ideas that you can do to teach 16 different reading skills in a very fun and interactive way that take zero prep. Zero prep from you and a tiny little bit of prep from the students. And all the prep is that they are required to bring a book, and a book that they have read. So you want them reading, you want the expectation of when we meet, you come with a book, and then you will have a game picked from this grid and you will play it with your students. So I'm going to go through a few of the games here with you right now. But then at the very end, I'm going to post the link to this where you can grab it for free. And then you can use any and all of the games, because I'm not going to sit here and explain 16 games because no one has time for that, right? Well, we're in quarantine, so maybe we do have time for that. But we won't, I promise. All right, so I'm going to share with you some of my favorites. And I guess I do have the paper right in front of me, so I'm going to look down and pick from those. So one of the things, the very, very first skill or strategy that I thought of that I was like, okay, this is something that I would absolutely want my students to be working on, is visualizing. It is the absolute most important strategy that we teach and focus on with our students. So I came up with a game that called ICA. And so what you would do is all your students are there. They all have their book with them. You pick one student to be it. And what they do is they will share their visualizations with the rest of the class from one specific event of the story. So they pick their favorite event, their favorite page, whatever it may be, and they will then share their visualization. So they will say, I see a da 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 da. I see a dog playing with a kite out in the park. There's green trees. There's this. He's happy. Just share that visualization that they have for that event. The rest of the class, we'll have a piece of paper, a scrap piece of paper, right? Anything, and some kind of writing utensil, and we are illustrating the visualization that the student is giving us. Then at the very end, which really this should take maybe 3 minutes, very quickly share, very quickly draw. Then all the students get to hold up their drawing, and the student who read the visualization gets to pick which one matches the story the best. So it's a great little way for one specific student to visualize. You can give that student some feedback on how they did with their visualization. Everyone else is being held accountable because they're all drawing. Again, it's everyone's involved, and we're focusing on kind of on one really important skill. So that one's called ICA. Let's see, another one. I'm trying to think which one I want. Oh, I like this one. This one helps practice genres, believe it or not. And it's called Match 'em Up. And so, again, the expectation is that everyone comes to the meeting with a book. And so, when you give the signal word, so maybe you say, ready, go, all students will hold up their books. I wish I should probably have a book, right? Oh, I do. I do have a book sitting right here. So all the students will hold up their books up to the point of their eyes. So they should be able to see, they can lean close, but they want to make sure they don't cover their eyes because they need to see all the other books that are being shown. And so what it is students will then try to find a genre match for the book types. So if I know my genre is realistic fiction, then I'm trying to find another realistic fiction. And again, it's a guess based on the title and the cover. So it's perfectly fine. So if you find a match, you will shout out like, I got a match or genre match, or you can pick whatever they want to shout out. It doesn't matter. And then whoever shouted it out would say, either they found a book that matches theirs, or maybe they found two others. Maybe they saw two nonfiction books. And so they will say, this book is nonfiction and it matches with this book that is nonfiction. And if both of those students agree that their books are nonfiction, then they will put theirs down. They can still play, but their books are out. And so you keep going until you can't do any more matches. And so it's just a little fun matching genre game that, again, gets everyone excited and interested in playing the game. So I love that one. Let's see. What's another one? Ooh, I like this one. Okay, so this one where do we cry? Wow. This one would require a tiny little bit more prep, and maybe they would need a little help from a parent beforehand, but nothing crazy, I promise. But what they would do is when they come with their book, they would need their book title covered up. So maybe you say, like, grab some Post-it notes or grab a piece of paper. Here I have a recipe for smoked bourbon barbecue baby back ribs. Anyways, they take their piece of paper and they put it inside their cover and then they fold it over. Like, just something simple. Excuse me. I promise I don't have it. I have the lingering of a sinus infection. Anyways, so they cover up their title, and then what you're going to do is you will pick a student to be it, and that student is going to give you the main idea and 3 very important details from their book, okay? And then the other students have to guess the title. This game is called Guess My Title. And so the students will shout out or raise their hands in some way, and they will share whatever title they think the book is. And then whoever actually guesses the exact title, whoever comes the closest, then wins that round. And then they can share, well, actually my title is The Night Before Preschool. Oh, wow, that's great. And then you can even talk, how did your title connect back to your main idea? Yada, yada, yada. You get the picture, right? And then pick a new student. But there you're practicing main idea and details along with like creative title creation or whatever. So, fun one. All right, let's see. I'm going to go over one more. Let's see. There's so many, and I love them all. Ooh, I like this one. Okay, this one is called the Trait Train. The Trait Train, what you're going to do is you will have one student start, and they are going to, with their book, let me take out my recipe here. They're going to share one character trait about their main character. So they will say, my main character is nervous. I'm just guessing. I haven't read this book in a while, but maybe he's nervous about preschool. And so then what you will do is any of these students in your class who also has a character with a trait of nervousness will then say, me too, or they can do, the hand signal or whatever. And then they'll say, me too. I have a character who is nervous. And maybe they explain why using some text evidence. And then you have another student speak out and say, me too. My character is also nervous when he or she da-da-da-da-da-da. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to make a trait train. How many books can you connect as a train over one different character trait? And so, go as far as you can. Maybe the trait is only 2 books long. maybe when you pick a different trait, and you say, my character is sad. There might be a lot of characters out there that are sad in the books. So then you can connect like 5 or 6 trains. So your goal is to see how long of a trait train you can connect with the characters in their books. So that's a fun one too. So the point of this is, and what thing you'll see in common with all of these activities is you're focusing on one skill, you're making it very interactive, you're letting the students read what they want to read, but bringing the books with them. That way they're kind of, being held accountable for that. Um, and you're just making it fun, and you're making it, lighthearted and interactive, and just, I don't know, it's different, right? It's just different. But anyways, I took a lot of time yesterday and put that together for all of you. So hopefully it's helpful. In some ways, right? It's something. But I hope you love it. So I'm going to post the link for it when the video is over. You'll grab it in the comments, or I'll put it up in the description. But like I said, there's 16, and I just went through, 3 or 4 of them, so there's so many more. The skill is at the top, the name of the game is bolded, and then the directions are there. If you have any questions about the directions of any of the games, just shoot me an email or comment below, and I can explain in more detail. So I hope all of your efforts are going well. If you need anything at any point in time, please do not hesitate to reach out. I can help find resources. I can help connect you to people who have resources. I can help with technology as much as I can. I can answer questions or find answers. I don't want you to feel alone or feel frustrated through any of this. If you just need someone to talk to, I'm here. So please, please, please reach out and let me know, okay? Next week, we will be jumping back into our normal Facebook Lives. I know necessarily they're not going to be topics that you absolutely need right now. However, I want to make sure that I'm still connecting with all of you and still giving you great information. So you can watch them live still and jot down notes for obviously later. You can save them for later, but I absolutely hope you'll tune in and watch with me. So, or watch me, not with me. Anyways, it's crazy, right? All right, we're all doing our best. So that's all I have for you tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. I hope you got some great tips, tricks, and some new fun ideas for distance learning with teaching comprehension. And I will see you all next week. Thank you so much, and stay healthy and happy. I'll see you Wednesday. Bye.